Start recording. Then entire screen. Hide. Show my screen anyway. Okay, great. So before I start the session, uh, is everything that I have explained till now in the JavaScript, the topics that I have explained, is it clear, or a revision is required after the completion of JavaScript? Is the revision required after the completion of?
We need to practice this.
Sorry, Minty.
We need to practice.
Yeah, sure, sure, definitely, definitely. You need to practice. Everyone should practice. But should I revise one more time? I mean, just a revision. It's just like a revision, high level
It
revision.
is helpful for us.
Is that okay if I do a revision?
Yes, it's helpful for us, Asis.
Okay, great, great. And I think that will also help you when you're learning other programming languages like Java or C sharp. If you're learning them, then it will be mostly similar. I mean, many methods, many topics will be similar. So it will be a good practice for when you're learning for other programming languages as well. Okay, great. Yeah. And yes, one more thing. I think next week I have a joining in the company. I mean, and I have to move to different state. So there will be a gap until I settle down in that state. So I mean, so
Congratulations, Ashish.
thank you so much, thank you so much. So yeah, there will be a gap between the sessions, but I
Congratulations. Hello.
thank you, Shraddha, thank you. So I will definitely complete the automation part as well, and the performance side as well, when it comes to APIs. And yeah, and one two lessons related to Git and GitHub, not Jenkins, not Jenkins, Git and GitHub. And later that this part I will be doing after I get a home, I get a house, and set up the internet over there and all those things, because I'm not pretty sure like what will be my office timings. Mostly they said it's UK timing, so it might be 9:30 which I'll be leaving from office. So yeah, that there will be change in timings as well. If everyone is okay, then I can take the sessions in the weekend. I can go for 2 hours, Saturday and Sunday, if everyone is okay with that, until I settle down, and until I see what the timings are and how far my room is from the office, or how far the travel time is, all those things. So is that okay? Is that okay?
It's okay, Ashish, but second, fourth Saturday is fine. First and third we have working, Ashish.
Sorry, Saturday and Sunday.
Actually, first and third Saturday is working for us.
Oh, okay. First and
Actually,
third Saturdays are working. Okay, let me see then how the
second, fourth,
timings.
and Sunday is fine for me.
Sunday is fine, right? Okay. Let me check how exactly I can. Yeah, how I can, because because I need to also settle down over there. So yeah,
Yes.
for me also it will take time to settle down and see the timings and commit on Saturdays or Sundays. But still, yeah, I got your point. Okay, first and third Saturday, right? Got it. Yeah, I'll take care. Yeah, I'll make sure that the sessions are, the timings are comfortable for everyone, and yeah, it will be available for everyone. Okay, great. So yeah, so yeah, let's start.
Which state is more better?
Sorry,
Actually,
sorry, Shraddha.
or which state? Yes. Which states are you moved for?
Gujarat,
Okay.
Gujarat. So okay, great. Okay. Yeah. Today we will be seeing two types of objects that are inbuilt objects. One is date and time, and the other one is numbers. It, I mean, nothing. Same like strings, same like arrays, we have methods for these as well, for date and time and the numbers. So let's look how exactly these date and time and numbers can be helpful to us when we write our code. Okay, so first let me take here, let me scroll up. Okay, so first thing, let me copy this comment, or let me do one thing. Okay, take this. uh, it started recording. Yeah. So no. First, this is a date and time object. Okay, which we are working today. It will be date and time object. Okay, and time is calculated in milliseconds. Time is always calculated in milliseconds. Now let's see, how can we create a date object. Okay, how can we create a date object? The, in this way, I mean, in order to create a date object, we create we say a variable type. Okay, and then we give a name which has date, then we say equals to, then we use new keyword, and then we write this date, then parenthesis. So this is a syntax to create a date object. Okay, to order to create a date object, we first create a variable, and in that variable name we store this new date object. Okay, this is how we do it. Now when we print the date object, okay, when we try to print the date object using the variable name, let's see what will be the output. Okay, now here, do you see, this is how the output is. I mean, here, this is the year, this is the month, yeah, month, and this is the day, I mean the day which we are in. And here T stands for time. Okay, T stands for time. Here this is hours, minutes, seconds, this is milliseconds. So now, okay, now see here, we have 274Z, this is a millisecond. Now when I run it once again, now there is a change. Now when I run it once again, okay, there is a change. So time is always calculated in milliseconds, and not only in JavaScript, other programming languages as well. Time, when you use a date and time object, I'm pretty sure in Java also we might have this date and time object, where time is calculated in milliseconds. Okay, because why exactly they consider milliseconds? Because many scientific calculations, or when we use these programming languages in any scientific program, scientific calculations or scientific projects, their milliseconds also make a lot of difference. I mean, a minute change in time will also make a lot of difference. So that is the reason this date object is created, taking in consideration milliseconds. It, in respect to milliseconds, this date object is created. So that is the reason, we whenever we run a date object, whenever we try to print the date object, it also prints the milliseconds. Okay, and when I run it once again, see again, there's a change in the, so you can run very fast, but still there will be a change in this, seconds might not change, but milliseconds will be changing. So this is a milliseconds. Now we'll see what all methods we have when we go for the date object. Okay, when we go for the date object, let's see what all methods we have. And this is a syntax. Okay, first, variable type. Okay, let me take it one. Okay, here, variable type. Okay, then variable name, then equals to new keyword, then the date class. Okay, we can say we don't have actually class in JavaScript. We don't consider this as class and this as a constructor. We don't say this we can say as a date object. We can say it as a date object. When creating a date object, this is how, what the syntax is. And if you want, you can give any other name, that is also fine. Here the name doesn't, I mean, the variable name you can give anything. Okay, still it works fine. Still it works. The only thing is this is the one you have to use new keyword and then the date object. This is how you create a date object. Okay. Now let's see what all methods we have in the date objects. Okay. So let me copy all this. Okay. And then let me do one by one. Okay. First, okay. This now, okay, we changed it to Monday, right? Let me take this as Monday and change here to Monday. Monday. Okay. Now, here it's really hard to read this. It's really hard to read this format. So, in order to make it more readable, more user friendly, we have a method called as toString. We have a method called as toString. Why this is called as a method? Because we are using parenthesis here. And why we are not calling it as an object? Because we are not using any new keyword. We are not using any new keyword. And also, if you see, this is an object with a different color. Okay, this color is different and this color is different. Here it's yellow and this is, I think, violet. Yeah, violet maybe. Okay, so this is an object and this is a method. Okay, now let me run this. Let me comment this out and let me run this. Now let's see how easy it is, how easy to read. Tuesday, 15 July 2025, and this is a time, and it follows GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, so it follows Greenwich Mean Time, and so and CUT, yeah, I think, yeah, GMT is Greenwich Mean Time. So this is easy to read. In order to read it easily, we use toString method. Now let me see what does toLocale string prints. Okay, let me comment this. Let me print this out. So it is printing. I mean, how can I say this? I mean, locale in the sense, it's not our local time. I mean, it's GMT time. I'm pretty sure it's a GMT time. That is what is printing. I think it's GMT time now. Yes, yes, it's printing the GMT time, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Whatever the Greenwich Mean Time, I mean, that is what is considered while creating this date object by the JavaScript developers. So they have written a code. They have written a code stating that whenever a date object is called, which also prints the time. So whenever we use this to locale string method, then it takes the local time. What is the local time? For date object, the local time is Greenwich Mean Time. So that is the reason it is printing 247. Now if I
And I
say,
think that
yeah,
the time for date format also changed, right? Means
sorry,
it's the changing the date format also, right?
yes,
DDMMYY,
Mon-
yes, yes, it changed. See,
YY is playing,
correct.
right?
MMDD.
Yes, a good observation. Really good observation.
Yeah.
Yes, it changes the,
MMDDYY is displaying. Yeah.
yes. So when I do this, it prints
Also slash is here.
slash. Yeah, the format is different. Format is different. So here it's more readable. Here it is, yeah, it is still readable, but it's in a different format and different. I mean, it this comes first. I mean, what is this? Month comes first, then day comes in. For us, it's for day first, then the month. So that is the difference. And this is a Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, Greenwich Mean Local Time. Now let's say Monday to date string. Okay, let me print this. Okay, let me comment this too. See what happens. It will only print the date. It will only print the date. It will not print the time. So whenever there's a requirement or whenever there is you want to test only where you have to print the output, or if you want to check the actual result and the expected result, and where you have to check only the date, then you can use this to date string. Now, in the same way, when we have date, then we will have the time also well. So when we use to time string, it will only print the time. See?
Time.
It will only
Yes.
print the time. But how exactly it is printing? It is printing taking this into consideration. This into consideration, it is printing in this way. Now let me see if we have this to local. Okay, let me see if we can use this to local. I never tried, but still, let me see if there is any method to local date string. Let me run. Yes, we can use in this way as well. We can also say to local time string. So this is a Greenwich Mean Time. This is not our time. This is a Greenwich Mean Time. I mean the how the date object has been created by the JavaScript developers. They the default time they selected was Greenwich Mean Time. So that is what it's displaying here. But if you want it in your time, uh, I mean the local time which you are placed in, then do not use local. Just use to time string. It will print. Okay, still it is printing two time string. Okay, no. String. This is printing. Still, it is printing. Okay, I think there's one more method for it. Uh, I don't think so. We have that. No, we should have two date string and two time string, and this is 251 is GMT. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Five thirty. Okay, yeah. Let me see if there is one more method. Date now. Let's see if when we print this, what happens. And here, date now. Date dot now. Okay, let me print this. Okay, still it is printing. Let the date. Okay, now let me tell you what is happening here. Let me take this as well. Okay, so uh, when this is, I mean, let me take some spaces. Okay, let me comment this. Okay, this is the default date. Okay, this is a date where the date object time started to count. I mean 1970 first Jan. Okay, first Jan 1970. uh, Hours, minutes, seconds, and the milliseconds. From this day and from this time, it will count. It will count to the day which you are calling for the date. I mean, it will count in milliseconds. It will count in milliseconds from 1970. From 1970 to today. I mean, 2025 till 2025. What total amount of milliseconds is calculated, that is displayed over here. Now let me show you that. First let me run this. Okay, we have 1970. Now what I'm going to do here is let me cut this and paste it here. Now let me run this. Okay, so here it is printing, it is counting the complete milliseconds. It is counting the complete milliseconds and it is displaying it. It is not displaying, it is not displaying any day here. It is only displaying the amount of milliseconds that has been counted, that has been completed from 1970 0101 till now. Till now. Okay, now see here 842. Let me see if it changes. See, it changed. Why it changed? Because the milliseconds are changing. The milliseconds are changing very frequently. So whenever we call date dot now, whenever we call date dot now, then there is a change in the milliseconds, and that is why the value over here is changing. Like if I run this, okay, let me explain you. Okay, let me take this notepad. Okay, we have 1970. Okay, 1970, first Jan. Okay, first Jan, and the milliseconds is 0000. Let's say consider 00. Now we are calling the same date object now. Okay, we want the date. We want to check what is the date value now when counted from the default date uh, which has been stored while developing this date object. So now what is the year 2025, right? 2025 and 15th June, July. Okay, July. Okay. Now let's say here the milliseconds is 0000, but from here it counts each and every millisecond till this particular date, and if the time is 20, I mean 8:26, 8:26. So from here the milliseconds it will be counting till here. What the total amount of milliseconds that it will display here, that it will display in this number. Like if I say 1970 first Jan, and I'm let's say we are calling the date object same 1970 second Jan. Okay, second Jan, then it will calculate the total amount of milliseconds from here to the second Jan, what time we are calling. Let's say we are calling at the same time, like 2026. Then it will calculate from this milliseconds to this milliseconds, and it will provide some number. So that is what is happening here. I mean, first, this is a default date. I mean, this is a default date, and we are storing the date, this date object, and, and we are calling it, stating that I want the total amount of milliseconds that has been calculated from the default date till now, till now, where I'm calling the date object. Okay, so when I run this, it always changes, it always changes, because it is only the milliseconds that is getting changed. Here it will be the same, here it will always be the same, because it's only the milliseconds that is getting frequently changed. But if you see after an hour or 2 hours, then they will be changed over here or somewhere in this number. So each and every millisecond, there's a millisecond is getting added. So that is what is happening here. So when you're calling this date dot now, I mean, it is calculating from 1970, the default date that has been stored or developed while creating this date object by the JavaScript developers. And it will calculate from that particular date of milliseconds to the current date of milliseconds that is related to the time. Okay, that is how it is calculated. If I run it one more time, see, now we have 719. Here it is not changing. Here, if you see, it doesn't change. But here we have 719. Now let me run one more time. See, there's a change again. 841. So it's the milliseconds that gets counted. And I mean, by calculating the milliseconds, this is how we get this. Oh, this is how we get this time. This is how we get this time. I mean, it will calculate the milliseconds each and every time. And whenever we call this date object with some methods, then it will see this calculation, and then it will convert into readable format. If you don't want in a readable format, then it will print it this way. So, but it all depends upon the milliseconds, how fast, how far the milliseconds are counted, how far the milliseconds are calculated. The time, whenever you call the date object, it will print related to this milliseconds. milliseconds. If this milliseconds is not calculated, then there will be an issue. There will be a wrong date time format, and it might affect at times the date as well, and then it will not display in a right way. So that is why we say the time is calculated in milliseconds. Oh, all everything, I mean, your date, your time, everything depends upon this milliseconds. How milliseconds are calculated? From the default date. What is the default date? 1970 Jan. From that point of time till now, whatever the count of milliseconds, that takes it into consideration, and it converts everything into date and time format. Understood? But we will not be using this much. We will be not using this much. The only thing we will be using is this methods. I mean, how can we use these methods on a new date object? On a new date object, how can we use these methods? Like if we want to string, or if we want to local string, or if we want to date string, or if we want only date, or if we want only time. So that is what we will be mostly working on. And let's comment this out. Comment this too. Comment this too. Comment this. Comment this. So here, this is what I mean. Here, this is a readable format, and this is not much of a readable format. And here it only prints the date, and here it only prints the time. Okay. Now Java, we C sharps, we have when we use the locale or some methods, it prints to the time which we are in, but the time zone which we are in. But I think in JavaScript we don't have that option. I need to look into that. Okay. Now this one also, let me show this too. Okay, let me run this. Okay. And date, new date, and I run this. See, here what happened. Okay, now you can see. Now I just wanted, I mean, if I say, let me comment this out. Okay, and let me run these. Okay, and let me run the second one. Okay, here. So this is a default date. Okay, default date where the parameter is 0. That is why it is giving the default date. But then we have passed in 10,000 milliseconds. 10,000 milliseconds is equal to 10 seconds. 10,000 milliseconds is equal to 10 seconds. So it calculated from the default date, okay, 10 seconds, and it printed the 10 seconds. I mean, it printed out adding 10 seconds to the default date. And here what it did, as we haven't passed any parameter, and we said that I want the I want right now what is a time of milliseconds, what time of milliseconds, what is the calculation of milliseconds that has been done from the default date till now. For that we don't pass any parameters, and we say date dot now. We say date dot now. So when we use dot now method, it will print only the milliseconds. It doesn't print the date format or the time format. It will only provide you what is the milliseconds count from this default date till now. Okay. And yeah, we have, is it understood till here, or any questions?
Actually, yes, yes,
It's
line number 19.
Sorry.
Line number 18 and 19.
18 and 19.
Each
Okay.
type of written.
Okay, okay, let me do one thing. Let comment this. Okay, here, let me comment this too. Okay. Now we want to check, like, what is the default date from where the calculation of time or date is considered. And what is the default date and time? The JavaScript developers have set in their coding programming. Okay, for that, what we do, we use in the new, when we creating a date object, when we are creating a date object, we give zero, zero as a parenthesis, zero as a zero as a parameter in the date object while creating the date object, which means I want to know the default date which is coded or programmed while creating the date object. So when we run this, we get the default date. Okay,
It will
we get,
change. It can be changed.
yes, yes, it can be
Means
changed.
new date inside in written that 20.
Yeah, yeah, it can be changed. It can be changed. That is what we have done here.
Okay.
That is what we have done. Now I want to know how far. I mean, when I'm calling now, when I'm calling today's date and time, I want to know how far the milliseconds are calculated. How many milliseconds are calculated from the default date till now. Okay, for that, what we do is we don't create a new date object. We don't create a new date object. As the date object is already created, we go ahead and call dot now method. We go ahead and call the dot now method. When we say dot now, then it will calculate the time from the default date till now, and it will only provide the milliseconds. It will not provide anything else. Now if I say, if I haven't created any object at all, okay, let me say, if I haven't created any object, okay, now when you call this, still it gives why exactly it is giving, why exactly the calculated time is displayed here, because the date object we are
Yes.
creating here as well, and also we are calling a method. We are calling a method like, I want the calculated time, I want the calculated time. So that is what is happening here. I mean, you're doing two things here. You are also creating a data object. I mean, it's not actually creating a data object because you're not using the new keyword, but you're implementing the dot now method on the date object, on the date object. This can also be done. This can also be done. If you want the milliseconds, you this in this way, you can do it in this way. But if you specifically want to create a date object, then this is the syntax. Exactly. Yeah, this is the syntax. This is how you create. Okay, this is how you create. But if you only want the milliseconds calculated from the default date till now, then this is how you call it, using the date.now object. But mostly this will not be used in testing part of side, maybe because it is more related to the scientific calculations. Okay, so yeah. And if you just want to add 10 seconds to the default date, then you can do it in this way. You can give parenthesis, and if you want to add more time, then you can say, give more time, then it will change. See, it changed. I mean, just calculate, divide this. I mean, how many seconds or minutes or hours it changes to. That is what has been added here. And it changed the time, it changed the date and month as well, not the year. Year is still the same. It only changed the month, it only changed the date, and then the time based on the milliseconds that we have provided in the parenthesis. Milliseconds that we have provided in the parenthesis. Now, is it understood? Hello?
Ah, sis.
Thank you. Now we'll see if we can pass any parameters. Okay, we have seen one parameter. Okay, we have seen this is one of the parameter which we can pass in the date object, but we can also pass multiple parameters in the date object. Okay, let's see that with this. Arguments are nothing but it's just parameters. We can call it as parameters as well. So here we can pass in year, we can pass in month, we can pass in date, we can pass in hour, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. We can pass all these as parameters. We can also pass all these as parameters. When I pass this, okay, I'm just passing the year and the month and the date. Okay, and then I'm printing it, and also I'm printing to ISO string. This is also not much required, but still, yeah. So okay, what all I need to comment this. See, it printed in the same way. I mean, there's no much string. So here, what is happening? Okay, as we have passed only the date, month, and year, this time is all zeros. Time is all zeros. We haven't passed that, right? So let me try to pass that too. Let me see if I can pass it. Okay, date, then hour, I'll say 13, then minutes, I'll say 33, then seconds, I'll say 44, milliseconds, I'll say 7890. Let's see if it works. Nah, there's some error. Invalid time value. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me take this out and let me see it. Let me run this. Still invalid time value. So I think I should not pass this in this. Can I pass this in this way? 13, 33, 44. You can pass this in this way. No, still it says invalid time value. Okay, let me take this out completely. Now let me do this. Okay, okay, let's do one thing. I'll do the same thing. So year, then the date. Let's take the day month as 03, then the date as 12, then the hour as 8. Okay, then the minutes as 25, then the seconds as 36. Okay, now let me run this and see. Yes. So earlier what I was doing is I was passing in a string as a string. I was passing as a string. So that is why it was unable to take. Now if you only want to this, now let me show you. Let me take this. Okay, let me let me take this as D2 and D2 and D. Here when I'm passing the date, when I'm passing only the date, then I can place it inside as a string. I can place the parameters as a string. But when I'm trying to pass year, month, date, hour, minutes, seconds, okay, that is where you should not pass it as a string. You should pass it as numbers. You should pass it as numbers. When you pass it as numbers, then it will print in a right manner. Now let me see, let me try to pass this milliseconds as well. 111 Z. Okay, I don't think so this will work. Nah, Z doesn't work. Let me try to take another one. Yes, now it worked. Okay, so milliseconds also you need to pass as a number without this Z being added in the parameters. Okay, and then so this is how you can pass in the parameters as well. Here we have passed only single parameter which is m- milliseconds, but here we can pass 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I mean here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 parameters can be passed in the date object. I mean, any combination, you can pass it in any combination. If you only want to pass hours, minutes, and seconds, you can do that. If you only want to pass year, month, date, you can do that. So it depends on what parameters that you want to pass, and it will print when you try to print the date object, calling the date object, then it will print it in this way. I mean, here I only passed in the year, month, and date, so it printed only year, month, and date, and all zeros here. And here I passed all six. Now let me see, when I pass only the time, what will be the output for the date. Okay, let me see what will be the output for the date. I think we cannot pass only that. If I say, let me do one thing. Okay, let me say 17, like not 17, 10 hours. Okay, 10 hours, 20 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, now let me print this and see what happens. What is happening here? Okay, let me comment this out. What is happening here? It is considering this as an year. I think yes, yes. This as an year, and this as a month, and this as a date. Yeah, 30th, and it did some calculation here. I mean, it converted all these into year, month, and day, and then it printed in this way. So it doesn't, when we try to pass only as a time parameters, it will not work. So if you can only pass the day, year, month, and date using the string format. Let me try to pass this as string. Let's see what happens. S- Still the same. Okay, here it says 10th month. 10th month, yeah, 10th month, 20th date, 2030. So it took in this way. I mean, it converted everything into date, of year, month, and date, and it printed. It didn't consider the time at all. I mean, we wanted it to print as a time, but it always gives preference, higher preference to the day. I mean, a date, year, and month. Then comes hour, minutes, and seconds. And if you want to pass hour, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds,
Actually,
yeah,
this is which format is correct?
which format?
Is correct, matlab.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Which format is
Okay, which format is
how to
correct?
know that which how to know that which format is correct?
How to know which format is correct? It depends. I mean, you mean to say, is this, I mean, passing in this way is correct, or passing in this way is correct, or is this way is correct? Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay, see, let me make it more simple. Uh, okay, uncomment, uncomment, this uncomment, and this uncomment. Okay, now let's say you want to pass in year, month, and date. Okay, year, month, and this is how the parameter sequence is. Okay, this is how the parameter sequence is. First comes year, then comes month, then comes date. So if you want to pass only the year, month, and date, and this is the right format. If you want to pass all the parameters, this is the right format. This, I just was experimenting, so this is not the right format. This is not the right format. You can, when you only want to pass the date, then you can pass in this parameters using a string. Using a string, you can pass it in as a string, where year, month, and day. But if you want to pass all the parameters, then do not use it as a string. Go as a numbers and pass it in this way. Okay, now when you print it, it will print in a right manner. See, here it took time as well. Here it didn't consider time because we haven't passed the time as a parameters. Okay, now there are two more methods in the date object. One is get and one is set. We know what get is. Get means retrieve the values, retrieve the values from the object. Set means nothing, like it's like a post. I can say it's like a post. Set values to the date object. So that is what we will be seeing here. Okay, let me go with the get and set both. Okay, paste it here. Okay. Here, what I'm saying, I want the day of D1. Let's see what is D1 here. Okay, this is D1. And I just want to get the day of it. What is the day here? This 12th is a day. Okay. Now let me comment this. And here I want the date. And here I want the hours. Okay. Now when I run this, see, I got the date. Day is where it went. D1. Yeah, D1. Okay, first we have hours. Hours is correct. Date is also correct. Date is correct. 12. 12 is a date. And day, it printed as 6. Why did it print as 6? It should not print. Let me say 1 here. 1 here. Let me run this. Okay, 3. Mm, okay, let me do one thing here. Uh, console dot to string string. Okay, let me run this. Let's see what happens. Okay, when okay, got it. Okay, why exactly it is?
Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday, because Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2, Wednesday is 3. So when we are saying get day, it is counting 3. Wednesday is 3. That is the reason it is printing 3. And when we say get date, yeah, it prints date. When we say get hours, as it 8 hours, it is printing
But
8 hours.
in code not mentioned the date day. Sorry.
Sorry? Yeah, in here, right?
In no
In
no.
huh?
Actually this is month. In code day is not mentioned.
Okay. You're saying we are not passing any in the parameters, we are not
Yes,
passing the. Yes, true. We are not passing it.
day.
Yeah, we are not passing it. True, correct. So, yeah, true, correct. We are not passing it.
But
And how to get?
how to get the day?
Uh, this is the only way we can get it, because we cannot pass the parameter here. I mean, let's say Feb 12. Let's say Feb 12 is Wednesday. We can check that actually. February. This is
Okay,
February.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. I can
yeah,
understand.
yeah. So it's Wednesday. So it is printing out. It is an inbuilt function. There's no other way where we can define the day here. Now, if I change it here to the month of 3, which is March 12th. So Saturday, yes, Saturday, which means Monday 1, Tuesday 2, Wednesday 3, Thursday 4, Friday 5, Saturday 6. Yes. So this is how. So that is the
7
reason.
and 15.
Huh?
Then change that 2025,
Change
7,
2025 to 2027.
25. Then remove the 3, then 7. Now I can change today's date.
Now,
Then
I should remove 3 and
7, 7.
keep it 7.
Yes,
Okay.
7. उसके बाद remove 12, then 15. Return 15.
Should say 15.
Yes, today
Okay.
date.
So
Then run 5. Tuesday.
This is month, right? This is month, and this is date.
Date. Uh,
So yeah, August
how
15
to get
Friday means
5
yeah 5.
Friday?
I didn't understand the question. I mean, what was the question actually?
No, I can understand.
Okay,
Okay.
cool, cool. Okay,
That's it.
so this is
This
how.
is a अगस्त का आउटपुट आया सो इसीलिए.
Okay, okay. Wait. So this is how you can get the day. Now, if I want to get the day of this new date, okay, let me see. Okay, we haven't passed anything here. So Monday, right? Let me do one thing. Console dot log Monday dot get day. Let's see what will be the output of this. 2, which means Monday, Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. So it is Tuesday. Let's see if it is Tuesday. We can run this. Let's see if it is Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. As it is Tuesday, we are getting the output as 2.
Output 2.
Okay, let me comment this all out and come. What else I need to comment? Yeah, that is all right. Now, one more thing I need to comment here. Now, as when you're calling the new date object, and as it is Tuesday today, we called in the today's date, and we are calling the day. Give me the day of it. As it is Tuesday, it is printing out 2. Now, in the same way, now let me go ahead and yeah, D1 is fine, right? Okay. Now we can also set our own date and months. We can set our own date and months using set date method. Here we say get day method, where we do not pass any parenthesis. We do not pass any parameters. The parameters is always empty. But because we are just retrieving data from the object. But when we are setting something, we have to, I mean, when we are posting something, we have to provide a request body, right? In the same way, when we are setting something in the date object, we have to provide a value. So here I provided a value, set date to 9 and set month 12. Okay, when I run this, now you can see I didn't print it. Okay, didn't print it. You need to print D1. Yeah, D1 print and comment this out and now run this. So when what else is uh, there's any other print statement? Okay, there's only one print statement. And okay, and this is D1. Let me comment this too, and let me comment this first and set 9. Now when I say set date to 9 and let me run this, it's still okay. Here as well, it is printing only the something. It is only printing the milliseconds. That is what is happening actually. Okay, let me run this. So when we provide set date, the I mean, it is not in a readable format. I mean, I can say this is not in a readable format because as we have done here, where exactly date, now there was somewhere this date now. Let me think. Console dot log and okay, as date now, when we are calling this now method using the date object, it is calculating the milliseconds. Same way, when we are setting the date or setting the month and calling the set month using the set month method, we are calling this object D1 object, the date object. Then it is calculating in milliseconds and it is providing us the output. So this might not be much helpful, because again we need to convert it, we need to check, I mean, what is a date and what is a month. So mostly we will be using, mostly we will be using the to string, to locale string, to date string, to time string. Okay, these are the methods which we will be using most, because when we see this in this way, this is not much of a use. I mean, then we need to convert it, then we need to get the output. So this is not much of a use. So that is the reason, mostly in testing we will be using, it will be two string, because it is more of a readable format. And if we only want date, then we use two date string. If we want only time, then we use two time string. So let me comment this. and, and if you want to pass in the parameters, you can pass in the parameters in this way. Like if I want, I can copy this and I can change it to D1. Okay. Pass in the parameters, then call the two date, two string methods, two time string methods. Okay. Where it went to D1, to string. What happened? D1. We have D1. Oh, sorry. I need to do one thing, to cut here, and I need to call after initialization. Okay, there's one thing. Okay, good point. Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, now tell me what exactly is happening here. I mean, when we read this error message, what do you think? Why exactly it is throwing an error message? Because we have D1 here, and we also created a D1 variable, but still it is throwing an error message. Why exactly do you think it is throwing an error message? Because we have created the D1 variable and we are
And
calling it. Sorry.
we are already uh, right that D1, and here we are mentioned late Monday, right? That's right.
No, actually, that is not the case. See, we have called these methods. Okay, we have called these methods, but this, when we are calling this method, this is a variable which we are using. This variable is not yet created. I mean, for when you, how exactly the programming runs is, it checks line by line, line by line. Okay, so when it checks for D1, it sees top of the lines and it sees like, okay, there is no D1 variable yet created. It doesn't check, okay, we have created later, but it doesn't check, okay, later there is a D1 variable created. It checks at the top. It checks at the top if there is any D1 variable has been created. That is the reason it says cannot access D1 before initialization. I mean, it is asking us to initialize the D1. So what we can do, either get that top code below, or take this code and paste it here. Now there will be no issues, because we have initialized D1 now. Then we can call it. Now when we call it, then it gives us the expected output. So if we are, let I can also say in this way. Okay, let me do one thing here. uh okay, console dot log age. Okay, now I'm creating let age equal to 100. Okay, now let me comment this all part. Okay, now this is the variable I have created, and I'm calling that variable. I just want the output of that variable, whatever the value is. Now when I run this, it says age cannot be accessed before initialization. Why? But we have age, we have initialized, we have created a age variable and we have initialized it. But still it says cannot access age before initialization. Why? Because we called in the method first. We called in the method first and we asked, I want the value of age. But we declared the age value after calling this message. after calling this method, we created a variable and provided the value. So when the program, any program, it might be any program, when it runs from top down approach. And I mean, it will check line by line code. It will check line by line code. So when it comes to console.log.age, it checks at the top if there is any age variable created and any value provided to it. It sees there is none. But what we have done, we have created afterwards. So that is the reason it says age should be declared, initialized before accessing the value. So now when you try to cut this and paste it here, now it will not throw any error. Understood? So you cannot access any variable before initialization. And initialization, if you do, I mean creation or assigning a value to it, if you do it later as well, still it will throw an error. So always first create a variable, initialize the value, then call the variable. Okay. And why I was saying date as an object, let me this. Okay, we how can we check which data type it is? Okay, now I'll uncomment this part, and also I'll take this one as well. Okay, and type of Monday. When I run this, see, it is an object. And why it did say type of D? Oh, sorry, there's no D. There's no D. Yeah, D. See, date is an object. That is the reason I was stating that this is a inbuilt JavaScript object. Date is nothing but inbuilt JavaScript object, which we can use, we can call it, and we can use it in our code by any methods. We can go ahead with the methods inbuilt for that object, and we can use those methods like this to string, to date string, to time string, and then yeah, we can pass in the parameters, and then we can use get day or set date. These we can use on that particular date object. And why we say date is an object, because when we check type of that date variable, it provides it is an object. Okay, understood.
Yes.
So this is all, I mean, it's all a mostly like same like strings and arrays. Like for arrays and strings, we have methods, right? Inbuilt methods. Same way for date also we have inbuilt methods. Okay, so this is all about date and time. I mean, you will be coming across this a lot, especially when you will be working on Playwright, where you will be calling the date object to check, how can I say, uh, especially when you're doing any mathematical calculations, or when the record is created. Okay, we need to check when the record is created, at what time is it is created. Why exactly? Because in database, okay, let's say in database, there will be a field, there will be a column, not field, there will be a column when the record has been created. Let's say if you're creating, if yeah, if someone is creating an account in Facebook, if someone is creating an account in Facebook, all his details will be rendered, all his details will be rendered in database, along with at what time, at what date and time this account was created. That also is rendered in one of the column of database. So in order to check that, in order to test, okay, if that is correct, if the date and time is correct, when creating an object, sorry, when creating an account, and the database, the data is rendered correctly or not, that is where this date and time object comes into picture. Very helpful, it will be very very helpful, and in many other places as well. So this is all about date and time. Okay, it's any questions, any questions, any queries? Okay, great. We can move to the next one. This is also, I mean, I can say, uh, it's also the same. Let me take all at once. Okay, let me take all at once. we have another object named as numbers. Okay, number is another object, inbuilt object of JavaScript, which we can use in our testing, in our scripting. Okay, in our scripting, or I can say in development as well, we can use this number object. Okay, and how can we create the number object? Same way, same how we have created the date object. In the same way, let variable name, then new date object. Same in the way, we can say let or const, then give a variable name, then we can say new number with parenthesis. If you want to give a parameter, you can give a parameter. If you want to give a parameter, you need not to give a parameter. And why? Okay, why we have a new number object? Okay, why we have a number object? Okay, first, before this, let me do one thing. Let me comment this. Okay, so how do you create a number variable in a JavaScript? In this way, right? Let or const num equal to 100. So this is a number variable, right? Uh, I'll
Yes.
say type of num. Okay, so this is a number. Okay, this is more than enough. We what we want, what we are expecting, we want to create a number, so that is what we have created. But if we want to work on this number, if we want to work on this number, then we have to go ahead and create a number object. Okay, this with this number we can do mathematical calculations, but there are and there are more I can say more options, more options, more facilities that we can use when creating a number object. Okay, here for this we don't have any inbuilt methods. Okay, when we create a number variable in this way, we don't have any inbuilt methods for this number variable. Okay, only when we create an object, then we can have methods for that object. And how can we, and if we want to work on number, we want to work on number using the methods, then that is where this comes into picture. The number object comes into picture. This is how you can create a number object. Now when you run this, let me, okay, see, we have number. Okay, and this is an object. This is not, the type of this is not a number. The type of this is not a number, it is an object. And when we are printing this number 200, see how exactly it is printing, like an array. It is printing like an array in a square brackets. Okay, so this is a difference. Now you can work on this number object. You can use the inbuilt methods. Now let's say, now let me uncomment this. Okay, now let me run these things. Okay, here I created a number object. Okay, and I've given some number, and this is a number. There's no floating point or a decimal point, I mean decimal data type in JavaScript. It is still a number. Okay, now if I want to read this as a string, then I can use the variable name dot toString method. When I say toString, then it will print it in this way. I mean, this is as a string. We can say this is as a string. It prints as a string. Now, when we say to fixed, okay, to fixed, which means it will remove the decimal point. It will remove the decimal point as it is point 0.7 after 5. After 5, if we consider after 5, then it always takes the next number. That is the reason it is printing as 507. Now if I say here 1, okay, 1, it will print as 500. So after 5 it goes to the next number. Before 5, it takes the current number only. If I say 4 as well here, it will still print 500. But if I say 6 after 5, if I say 6 here, then it will print 501. And this is a mathematical precision. I mean, it's a mathematical precision, not from the JavaScript. It's from the mathematical precision. Like, if it is more after zero point 0.5, then it takes the next number. If it is below zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.5, I think zero point 0.5 also it will take 500 only. No, no, for zero point 0.5, from zero point 0.5 it is 501, but before zero point 0.5 it takes the current number. It goes ahead with the current number. And here number to precision 4. Okay, number to precision 4 means it takes, see here, takes, you know, when you print it, it only takes the four numbers. It only takes the four numbers and it removes these three. Okay, when you say precision to 5, it takes these two. Now I'll change this. Okay, I'll change this to 7. Now let's see what happens. Okay,
500 or 7 and 72.
correct. So precision, this is a precision, which means it only takes the four digits. I can say, yeah, four digits. It might be after this how many digits you might have. Okay, but still it takes only four digits, and the second is 5. Now if I say here as 8, okay, then it takes to the 8 numbers. These things, I mean, this number object or date and time, not date and time, number object, when especially it is used is when you're working on some serious calculations. I mean, in your project, in your application, you have very serious calculation with where you have to calculate the uh, money or something which to the very precise calculation. That is where this number methods will be very very useful, very useful. Like if you're
Ashish,
working on,
one
yeah.
question. Like
Hmm,
we are using two precision and eight, right? Then
hmm.
it will rounded the last value, right? 72434 is a eight value,
Yes,
but 72435 it is fixing the. It's around about the value.
yes, yeah, true. See now
So,
if I, hmm,
so why, if we are using four or five, why this number is not round about? If we want to use like a just okay, seven. If we want to use like a seven two, and can you please put six four
where
like
where
uh,
exactly?
726.
Huh?
Can you
6.
put
Yeah,
six?
sure,
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. 73. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So it is after decimal point it will round about the value.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if I use here, if I say here as 8, now what happens is this will convert into 8. See, it will convert into 8. Just I think this will convert into 8. See, converted into 8. Why? Because this one, okay, this all are after zero point 0.5. After zero point 0.5 it changes the number, it adds a number. Like here we have 501, right? In the same way it adds a point. I mean, this is a mathematical calculation. How can I say, I mean, which we might have studied in our schooling, right? Like after point, if it is
Yes,
above zero
yes,
point
yes.
0.5, then it converts. It converts. I mean, round off. Yeah, round off. Yeah, true. Round off. Round off. If it is below 4, if I say here zero point 0.4, then it still keeps the 4 here. See, okay. Yeah, sorry. Here I've used 8, right? Okay. Here I need to say 4. See, it keeps this 4. But why it is 0.45 here? Because here we have 6, that is top of 5. So that is the reason it it went ahead and converted. It converted into a 4 5. Then here same here, 4463, 4463 4. After 4 we have 6. That is the reason it converted to 5. But if we have 4 4 6 3 4 2, let's say 2, then it will not convert this to 5. It will still keep 4 only. See, it kept it 4. So it's a round off. It's a round off that happens. Understood?
Yes, Ashish.
Okay, great. Okay, now let's say if we have a such a big number, okay, we have a such a big number and it's really hard to read. Definitely it is really hard to read. So in order to read this, to make it as a readable format, to make it as a readable format, we use two local string. When we use this, what happens is, see, this is how it converts. And this is an English system. This is not Indian system. This is an English system. Zero, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, then million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, 10 billion. Yeah, it goes on. Okay, this is how the readable format. It will be in a readable format. I'm pretty sure. I think we don't have that Indian system conversion. We only have this English system conversion. So if there is a long number like this, then you can use to local string so that it will be easy to read. It will be easy to read. So this is one more method. Like we have to string method, and then we have to fixed method, then to precision method, and then we have to local string. And there are, after math, okay, after numbers, there is one more math method. Okay, math object, sorry, not method, math object. Okay. uh, Now let's see what all methods we have in the math object. Okay, let me comment this out. Let me uncomment this. And before this, okay, we did see this, right? Sorry, did see this. Okay, and this. Okay, number is an object. Okay, number, data type of number is an object. Now we'll see what is a data type of math. Okay, what is a data type of math? Let me go ahead and uncomment this, and let me print this out. Okay, and I've commented everything, right? Okay, see, math is also an object. So we have seen three objects today. One being date, second being number, and the third being math. Okay, date we will be using in everywhere. We will be using it mostly everywhere. But number and math, mostly we will, number, especially number, we will be using in if it is a serious calculations of money or time, something very serious calculations. I mean, we need the precision. Math, you can, that is also, you can use it in many places. You can use it in many places. Like I can say, uh, if I want to round off this, okay, if I want to round off this 28351, okay, 2.8351. Okay, when I run this, see, it rounded off. Why? Because after point we have 8 here. Now if I say 2 here, then it will not give 3, it will round off 2, it will say 2. But when I give point 0.5 or point 0.6, then it will round off to 3. Same, we have we have ceiling. Okay, now if I say seal, then it will take the next number. Okay, when we say seal, dot seal method, it will print the next number. When we say floor, okay, when we say floor, it will print the current number only. Still we are giving point 0.9. Still we are giving point 0.9, but still it will print 2 only. Here we are giving point 0, but still it is printing the next number. So please be careful when you're using this dot seal or dot floor, because this is where we might get an unexpected results. We want here it to be printed as 2, but we are using the seal method, which prints the next number. So just make sure that you use the right methods here. And we have this will be very useful. This will be very useful. Like we want to check which is a minimum value and which is a maximum value. Then you can use this min or max methods. Okay, let me comment this out. Okay, and you can have n number of parameters. In here you can have n number of parameters. Here we have only one parameter passed, but we can have n number of parameters, and here the minimum value is 3 and the maximum value is 24. Okay, and the one last method is this, also you might be using a lot. This is dot pow method, which is power 2 to the power of 3. What is the value of 2 to the power of 3? 8. What is the value of 2 to the power of 3? 8. Or what is the value of 3 to the power of 7? 2187. So these methods you will be using a lot. Math methods actually you will be using a lot. Like how can I say, okay, there's one, let's say there's one program, like uh okay, yeah, now there's, let's say I have let a equal to 10. Okay, let a equal to 10 and b equal to 20. Okay, now if I want you to write a program which is the greatest number in between these two, which is the greatest number, in how many ways can you write this?
B is the greatest number,
Mm,
and like a B is greater than A.
mm. No, no, what all concepts in programming you will be using to write this, I mean, which to check which is the greatest number, what all concepts you will be using?
Like minimum and maximum.
Yeah, one concept is min or max. Okay, yeah, this is one concept, and there are other two concepts. Which are those two concepts which you will be using? This is a math method. Okay, using the math method, yes, you got an output like 20 is the biggest
Yes.
number. There are two
Hmm.
more concepts in JavaScript by which you can get an output like which is the greatest number. What are those two concepts?
Like um, um, we have to find a maximum value.
Uh-huh.
So if we are taking another variable and we store, like we can swap, and after that we can check the what is the maximum value, that one also.
Why you want to store it in a different temp variable? Why you want to swap and then check which is after swapping? As no, why exactly you want to swap? I just want to know like which is the greatest number. So I don't
Okay.
think so we need to swap anything.
Okay.
There are other two concepts by which we can also know, we can also give an output like which is the greatest number. Which are those two concepts? Okay, no worries. One being if else condition, right? If else condition, we can use this if else condition where we can say if a is greater than b or b is
Yes, A
greater than,
is great.
okay,
Hmm.
else
Hmm.
print this is greater. Okay, this is the
Hmm.
second
Hmm.
concept. Now what is the third
Hmm.
concept? There's one more concept, one more way to check which is the greatest number. There's one more concept. Anyone, I mean, if anyone remembers it.
Hmm.
Okay, it is an operator. It is an operator.
Oh, yes. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, no
Yes.
worries.
Ternary operator.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So using this ternary operator as well, we can check which is the greatest number, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
you can use ternary operator, or you can use if else condition, or you can go with
Hmm.
math,
Minimum maximum. Hmm.
min or max of math methods. So here for if else, you will write around 3 to 4 lines. Okay, yeah. If
Yes.
yeah, and then code block, and then you write your statements and all those
Yes,
things,
yes,
right?
yes.
And
Mm.
ternary operator can be written in one line.
One line. Yes,
Yeah.
question mark operator
Yes.
and
Yes.
yes.
But here we need to provide these variables as well. So it will be two lines, one declaring
Mm-hmm.
variables and then ternary operator. But
Mm.
when you are using math method, everything can be
Mm.
written in one line. So
One line.
yeah, so if
Mm.
you want to reduce your code and if you want to save the memory, then you can go with this math methods. And same way, this power as well. When you say power, there's an operator. I mean, we have seen an operator like what I can say, a star equal to 3. In this way we have seen something, right? We have
Mm-hmm.
seen
Yes, yes.
but we can also write it.
Assignment or something.
Yes.
Yes.
So so we can write it in this way or we can write it in this way. So it depends upon you which you're comfortable, which concept you're comfortable with, and which concept you know better, you know best, and which you think that it works more far better or easy to read, then you can go with that concept. There's no hard and fast rule that okay, when we want to check these which is the highest number, we have to go with this math method only. No, there is no hard and fast rule. You can either go with
Mm.
ternary operator or if else, or then this math methods. It all depends
Yes.
on how you think and how you write the code and how you reduce the lines of the code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes, Ashish.
so that is all for today. So any questions, any doubts? So we have
No.
seen three objects. One is date,
Yes.
one is number,
Date,
one is
number, and math.
math. Yes. And in date
Mm.
only, you will have this time information as well. There's no separate time object. You Time is included in date itself. Okay.
Yes.
So that is all for today. Any questions, any queries?
No, no from my side.
Anyone?
Mm.
No. Oh, I think everyone is left. Okay, great. No worries. Okay, Pankti.
Yeah.
Then yeah,
Yeah, thank
and
you, Ashish.
no worries. And yes, I have decided after completion of the JavaScript, I have decided to do a revision of it. I mean high
Yes,
level revision. Then we
yes,
will jump
yes.
into Postman. Okay.
Definitely, definitely. So, in the next week, we will do a revision, right?
Next week I will be traveling, so I'm pretty not
Oh,
sure.
yes, I forgot. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
no
I
worries, no
forgot.
worries. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
we will do the revision because I know that revision is really required. So after revision
Yes.
only, then we will jump into Postman. Okay.
Okay, okay, definitely.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you so much, Ashish. Thank
No
you.
worries. You're most welcome. Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Good
Bye
night.
bye. Good night. Stop.